growing up in Uganda, I observed a lot of violence at a family level. My own mother and sister are victims of domestic violence to the point of death. At the community level, I observed women being battered and children being beaten in the African culture. A lot of people believe in spare the rod, spoil the child. However, there's a lot of emphasis on corporal punishment and physical discipline, and so I observed all that. And for me, the thing that stood out for me even as a young child, as a young boy, was how that really traumatized me as a boy emotionally. How really I lived in a culture where I was not allowed to express my emotions and what I felt, even after observing my own mother being beaten by an uncle. And so for me, that stuck with me. So fast forward, I went to university to study psychology, and I realized that there was a lot of need for really trauma therapy, relational therapy, and bringing this healing to my own self, but also to my own community. In Uganda or in Africa, we brag about Ubuntu, the idea that relationships are important, that I am because we are, that we take care of one another. But yet, on the other hand, we see that in the same relationships and communities where we are together, we are still experiencing violence. And so it's hard to put the two together. There's violence, many people are traumatized. So I wanted to really introduce this idea that relational healing is needed for communities to grow stronger and also to continue to have really, really good mental health and emotional well-being. So that was my biggest inspiration to lead this project and see EFT and attachment therapies come to Uganda. My vision, number one, is to make sure that relational health and emotional health therapies are accessible, they're available and accessible to every Ugandan and every East African. Uganda is in the region of East Africa, and so my vision is to see that people have access to quality relational health and emotional health therapy. And the second piece to that is, I'm also a researcher, and I talked a little bit about that, is to see that not only there's availability of relational therapy, but there's also that it is culture relevant, that we are not only saying, we're introducing EFT to Uganda, but that we are taking in the aspect of the culture that maybe might not fit within the EFT framework. So my other goal is to ensure that we adapt this EFT that we've introduced to the Ugandan community and the East Africa to be culture relevant, to think about ways that we can still build the idea that it's okay to express emotions and to feel as part of a human being, but also emotional well-being, but that we also do it in culture appropriate ways, that we don't impose and that we don't come in with ideas that have landed in the States and just impose them here, but that we find ways to tailor that to the culture and meet the needs of families and couples here.